In today's video, I would like to talk to you about 4 Purusharthas, which means 4 subtle purposes that guide in our life. And we should understand these purposes because they really make sense when you open your mind to it and when you bring more awareness into those 4 areas of living. So what are the 4 Purusharthas? These are Dharma, which means duty, Artha, which means money, Kam, which means desire or goal, and the last one is Moksha, which also means liberation. Just to highlight, this is based on Hindu philosophy, it's based on yoga philosophy, and personally, I live a yogic lifestyle. So I find a great deal in finding out those little gems that our ancient traditions have been passing from generations to generations for thousands and thousands of years. Let's start with Dharma. Dharma is something that changes from situation to situation, from person to person. So, Dharma is your duty to something or someone, and you should follow that duty to the best ability to understand this duty. What is this duty, and how can I create the positive impression from this duty? For example, as a child to your mother and to your father, you have a certain duty. Also, as when you become a parent, you then have a different duty to your family, to your kids. This duty, this dharma, will also change from a situation that is outside of your family. It would change, your dharma would be different to your boss. You would have a duty to your workplace to, for example, turn up on time, or to do the job that you are being paid to do. Of course, if you are following your duty, if you are acting in a certain way to follow this duty, then your life will go well. However, if you don't follow this duty because of certain misconceptions or things that you might be thinking, then you will have problems in your life. And how does it happen? For example, at the beginning, you start working somewhere and you really care about this job. You always turn up on time, you always do everything right, and you're enjoying this to a certain point. But then in time, this changes. And suddenly you don't feel like working there anymore. Perhaps something happened and you're actually quite upset about working there. Maybe you've been late and you're not following your dharma by turning up on time. And suddenly everything begins to change and you're not choosing this workplace anymore. You don't feel like it's bringing you much joy, but at the same time, it's not bringing you joy because you're not choosing it. You're not looking at it as something that is positive, as your duty, as your dharma. So you start making different choices regarding this workplace. For example, this is just an example, and then you start having issues. Maybe your boss starts picking points at you. Maybe essentially you might be fired, for example, and you might lose this job. Maybe you're even going to quit and you're going to go somewhere else, only to notice that at the beginning you're happy, but then in time it changes again and you might become unhappy again and you might want to be willing to change this work. And I'm not saying any of this is bad or wrong, but the question is, are you following your duty? Are you following the duty to your family member? Are you faithful, loyal? Are you truthful? And this also is to yourself. We have duty to ourselves as well, to honor our body, to honor our mind, and to constantly grow. Because the moment we stop growing, the moment we stop expanding our environment, this is the moment we fall into stagnation, and the stagnation leads to more unfulfilled desires. Sometimes this stagnation also means going backwards. How could this look in the physical world? You might not move as much anymore. You might not exercise, you might walk outside, you might not exercise and work on your body. And in time, few years later, your body becomes weaker, your body starts aching, you become to have problems with your physical body, whether it is with your muscles or whether it's the internal changes that happen. Because everything we do every single day it's it's got a karma effect. You can find my karma video on this channel to find out what is karma and how is karma affecting our life. Then the next thing is artha, which is money. There is this misconception around yoga community and in general about spiritual life that it is expected from you to be poor, to not have anything, to leave everything behind and go away somewhere and live off some scraps of food, etc. But that's the biggest misconception of all. And this is because money in life is very, very important. A lot of people have bad connotations with money. And there's loads of beliefs around it, like money is bad, money is the worst cause of evil. So there is a lot of negative beliefs are surrounding money. But why is money so important? Of course, it's not about materialistic value of things, but I mean, if this is your desire, then that's okay, go for it and achieve your desire. But we'll talk about desire in a moment. But money is actually so important for three different reasons, which are called dukkha in Sanskrit, and this is called sorrow or pain. So if we are living on this planet, if we're living in this world, then we will go through life and we will encounter certain pains or sorrows in our life. And there are three main causes for it. First is diseases, whether it's physical or mental problems that we might have. And of course, how do we deal with those things? How do we come back to our health and our well-being? And of course, this is with money. If we don't have money, we don't have money to provide ourselves with food that we need. The food is medicine, but also if we are suffering with a disease, we might need some medicine. However, if we achieve financial well-being, then that means we can help ourselves to be more healthy, and we can also help those close to us, and even strangers if we have big amount of wealth and we can share it with others. So money is actually really important in this matter. Second reason is problems that come to us from outside, which could be from animals or problems that other people bring to us. And this day and age, we have paper money, but even before paper money, there was always some form of payments. People would exchange valuable objects. There was always some way of exchanging valuable things. And it's only now that it came to it that we work and we have money and then we exchange that money for something else. We can look at money as an exchange. We are going to work and we giving our time and effort to the workplace, and then in exchange we getting our money, and then this money is used for something else, for exchange of this object or this something that we want to purchase. The third thing would be problems and sorrows that come from nature, which would include things like earthquakes, floods, or extensive heat where we have no water to drink. All those three things require us to have money to be able to deal with those things in a day-to-day life. And if we don't have money, then we have problems. So money is actually very important in life. And by turning our back on money, we then might not be able to provide the care we need, our family needs, and the sufficient outcome that leads from money. We deserve to live a comfortable life if we want to. And if you are spiritual and this really triggers you, then maybe ask yourself why. What is the problem that you have with money? And why is this an issue? Because it shouldn't be. Money is one of the important things in our life. And I hope I presented it in a way that makes sense. Then the next thing is kam, which means desire or goal. And I know many spiritual people always say live in the now. And it is so, so crucial. And I don't want to take any importance from it whatsoever. And in fact, I constantly try to live in the now more. But this is a different matter. If we're not living in the now, it means that we are affected by our past circumstances. For example, we are not doing something in this moment because something from the past is affecting our perception, is affecting our behavior, and it's perhaps stopping us from doing something we truly want. And that's the same with the worry about the future. If we are worried about the future circumstances, it might really affect our current situation. So we will be fearful about something. We might not act on our desires because we will be fearful of this thing that might happen, or what if I don't like it, or what if this is actually not my desire. But how can you find out if this is your desire or not if you've never tried it? And it's always better to go for it and find out you didn't want it at all at the end, and then do something different. So our desires are really important because through going after our desires, through working towards our goals, it's giving us purpose. And also we figure out the meaning of life. If we always dream about being an actress, let's say, and we don't fulfill this dream and goal, we'll only wonder. So you live with this regret. But the moment you pursue this goal and you work towards it, it's giving you the sense of purpose, and you working towards that goal. But the important thing is to practice detachment and discipline. So these two things are allowing us to pursue the goal, but without the attachment of this is what needs to happen, this is how it needs to go. And the discipline is teaching us not only self-confidence, but also growth. And we need this in life to then let go of things and not live with this regret. All of those desires that we have are leading us to something much greater than the desire itself. It's leading us to the fourth thing, which is moksha, which is liberation. As long as you've been living truthful to your dharma, to your duty, as long as you've been providing yourself with things that you needed to create the life you want, and as long as you've been going for your desires and then essentially letting them go in a way of not holding on to them and practicing this detachment, all of that leads to liberation. And liberation is what we want in life. And why? It's giving us the sense of joy, it's giving us the sense of purpose. And when we are liberated, we let go of things, we're not affected by them. And it's not about not being happy, or of course no one wants to be sad, but then people are scared that if they go through this process they won't be able to experience happiness to the highest of its potential. And of course you still experience happiness, it's just different type of happiness, and it's different type of sadness, because suddenly you understand life for what it is. All the problems that are happening in life are not problems at all. And it leads you to this beautiful life. And this is why those four Purusharthas are so important. And I would like to add to the end of this video about how I think Purusharthas are connected with Ikigai, Japanese philosophy of life. Ikigai is this concept of four things that you should ask yourself to create the life of your dreams. And the questions you should ask yourself based on Ikigai is, what do you enjoy doing? What are you good at? What does the world need? And can you make money of it? So once you go through those four questions, you can then distinguish what you can actually create in your own life to live the life of your dreams, to live the most happy life, and to feel fulfilled. And I really deeply believe that Purusharthas is very linked to Ikigai because it does talk about those things. But it's the way I've learned it, it's not asking those questions. But Ikigai is asking the questions that I think each of us should answer truthfully to ourselves, and then start acting in accordance to those dreams. If you enjoyed this video, please like, please comment, and subscribe to this channel to be notified of more videos like this one. Thank you for watching. Namaste.